everyone and welcome back to another video of Let's Talk About It. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the major problems in our society today, that is substance abuse and substance addiction. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. So first, let's talk about substance abuse. Now, what is substance abuse? Substance abuse is the use of illicit drugs or psychoactive substances or prescription or over-the-counter medications which are used for purposes other than what they are meant to be used for, or when they are used in excessive amounts. Now, a person of any age, gender or economic status can be affected and fall prey to substance abuse and substance addiction. There are 5 main factors, first of which is genetic. Now, if your parents have a history of substance abuse or addiction, it is quite likely that you might also have it. The second are the social factors. It consists of the social pressure in today's age, peer pressure. Most children today will do anything and everything to be accepted by their peers, no matter how harmful or how dangerous it might be. And if they don't give in to peer pressure, then they might face rejection, which then leads to loneliness and low self-esteem. The third are the environmental factors. In today's society, by the age of 30, a person is expected to settle down in life and have a huge bank balance, have a car, have a house. And if these expectations are not met, it leads to depression, hence substance abuse. Or if a person doesn't have a job and they look at all their friends settled, well settled in life, that leads to a low self-esteem, and the person might sometimes indulge into alcoholism and smoking because of that. The fourth factor is mental disorders. Now, as per the Mayo Clinic, people with ADHD and PTSD are more likely to become addicts. Now, people who have mental disorders are usually prescribed drugs which help reduce their anxiety and depression. And having these psychoactive drugs for a long period of time can make the patient dependent on it and can thus make the problems worse. Emotional factors. Parents who are too busy at work have no time for their children, or children from broken homes, or the loss of a loved one. These factors often lead to rejection and loneliness, and thus children and people turn towards alcoholism and turn towards these substances to help them deal and cope with these kind of emotions. The use of highly stimulant drugs. Use of stimulant drugs such as cocaine, opioid, painkillers may result in people getting addicted to them faster. Smoking or injecting these so-called light drugs may cause people to get addicted to them. Now let's talk about substance abuse versus substance addiction. What is the distinction between these two? Substance abuse is overusing a substance. For example, if a doctor prescribed you painkillers and the doctor says you have to have this amount of painkillers in a day, you start overusing it. That is substance abuse. So you start taking more than the required amount. Now, substance abuse comparatively is easy to stop because it is the first stage of substance addiction. Now, what is substance addiction? Substance addiction is a chronic disease that is difficult to control. The overuse and abuse of prescription drugs or alcohol may alter the chemical composition in your brain, also leading to addiction. Now, both are different from each other, but both are a cause of major concern. According to AIMS report, nearly 18 lakh adults and 4.6 lakh children fall in the badly addicted category. From plant-based drugs like cannabis, cocaine, heroin to synthetic drugs such as tramadol, consumption of narcotic substances in India has increased tremendously. According to the Global Burden of Disease study, illicit drugs have killed nearly 7.5 lakh people worldwide in 2017. Estimated number of lives lost in India were 22,000. There are many movies that have depicted substance abuse and the effects that it has on society and the individual. The examples of such movies are Utta Punjab, Fashion, Devdi, etc. On the other hand, there are also some movies which involve these kind of scenes. Now, taking these scenes out of those movies would not affect the plot in any way, but these scenes are added in the movies to make it look cool. Now, we all know that movies play a great role in impacting and changing the mindset of people in society. But when people watch these kind of movies, they think that it's okay to consume alcohol in excess, or it's okay to keep smoking. And they start believing that there is nothing wrong in consuming such products. Now, drugs have a very powerful effect on the brain and how it receives and sends signals via its systems of neurons and neurotransmitters. Neurons are cells in the brain that communicate information, and they do so by sending and receiving the neurotransmitter molecules. Now, the impact that it has on the brain, it totally depends on the drug that has been used. Drugs also impact parts of our brain that affect normal bodily functions. It affects areas in our brain that control our decision making, response to stress, breathing rates, etc. Now, the abuse and addiction of substances not only affects us mentally and psychologically by affecting our brain, but it also affects our relationships. Individuals fail to maintain healthy relationships with family, friends, and acquaintances. Now, it can affect the user's self-esteem and sense of value. It can also affect the performance in jobs and also hamper the activities of daily life. Most importantly, it affects our society as a whole by murders, rapes, and heinous offenses. In India, about 90% of drugs are used by youngsters aged 11 and up. Adolescents who are addicted to drugs are more prone to commit violent crimes. Now, counseling and behavioral therapy are the most commonly used methods of treatment. It is also very important to create an awareness and educate people regarding the causes and the effects that these drugs have on people. Now, very often abusers and addicts are judged by our society and are condemned by our society, thus lowering their self-esteem. Hence, it is very important to create a healthy environment in which they can get over this abuse and addiction. Mental illness and substance abuse go hand in hand. Seeking professional help will help you manage your symptoms without indulging into alcohol or drugs. Peer pressure affects mainly teens and young adults. Hence, it's very important for us to surround ourselves with people who have a positive influence. You can indulge in healthy ways of coping, which involves exercising, taking care of yourself, getting involved in any activity that you like. Lastly, the censor board should cut such unnecessary scenes that glorify substance abuse and addiction and address its risks and effects on society. Because movies have a major impact on society and play a major role in shaping and educating people. So guys, this is it for this video. Thank you for taking time and watching this video. Please like this video if it has been informative to you, and please do comment down below and let me know your thoughts on substance abuse and addiction. And I will see you next week with a brand new video. Till then, bye bye.